What's up, Geminites? It's your boy GemMint. Today we're going to compare two recent Spider-Man releases, the new premium format by Sideshow Collectibles and the XM Studios, so stay tuned. Alright guys, so comparison videos is something I did when I first started the channel because I ended up getting a lot of Venoms, Carnages, things like that. So I thought I would bring it back. I have both of these Spider-Man statues in the house. They're very similar, as you can see. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of grade these in different categories that I made up here, and we'll see which one is the winner. So let's get right to it. The first category I'm going to look at, I think, is an important category. It's the price and the edition size, because those things kind of go hand in hand. The Sideshow Spider-Man, this premium format, retails for $625 for the collector's edition and $640 for the exclusive. There are 2,000 of the collector's edition and 1,000 of the exclusive. So you could kind of just say it's about a $650 piece with about 3,000 available. The XM Studios one is $849, and there are 880 of them. So it has a higher price tag, and it has a lower edition size. Now, even though it's not really fair, we do need to go ahead and talk about shipping costs, because XM Studios does not have a license to sell to the States. The shipping has to be imported from Singapore, and it runs $200 to ship this bad boy to the US. So that $850 price tag just shot up to $1,050. Now, the Sideshow Premium format costs $40 to ship. So you're looking at just under $700 shipped for this bad boy and about $1,050 shipped for this bad boy. So who wins out of the price and the edition size category? I'm going to give it to XM Studios, and the reason being because this piece has a better chance to appreciate in value. With 3,000 of these laying around, there's a very good chance that it doesn't even sell out from Sideshow, which I believe the previous premium format is still available. Meaning, you're not going to ever be able to get more money for yours than what somebody can just buy brand new from the site. Whereas the XM Studios, at 880 pieces, which is still sold worldwide, has a better chance of selling out. And once it's sold out, it's supply and demand. It will appreciate in value. So I'm going to give this winner to XM Studios. All right, now let's talk about the concept. They both have a very similar concept. It's Spider-Man. He's in his traditional red and blue costume, and he's in a battle scene with Dr. Octopus tentacles. So the concepts are pretty much the same thing. Now, here's what's going to decide the winning factor here. XM revealed this piece first in Singapore Comic-Con a few years ago, about 3 years ago. So for XM to reveal this first and then Sideshow to come out with this second, it's almost like they might have copied them. Like, you can copy my homework, but just change it up a little bit so no one notices. The other thing is that this Spider-Man pose is eerily similar to Sideshow's Deadpool Heatseeker. So to me, that's a little bit on the lazy side, whereas the XM took a super chance here, making a Spider-Man that's swinging in midair in this battle scene, hanging off the side of the piece. So I think in the concept, XM Studios is the winner here. So man, that's 2-0 right now for XM. Let's go now to the design. The concept is a good idea and everything, but how did it actually come out? If we want to look at design, I think Sideshow has a better idea of collectors' needs. It has a smaller footprint, it's more of a compact piece, but it's still very dynamic. Looking at the XM Studios piece, it's a little clunky. Spider-Man's not the main focal point of the statue. Like I said, he's leaning off to the side, which is cool, but I don't know design-wise if it really works. Also, the web swing, the web, it doesn't really look tight. It doesn't really make it believable that he's hanging from it and swinging from it because it looks kind of loose. So I think in that area, you can see that Sideshow is the clear winner in design. Not to mention the way that the tentacles came out. I think the tentacles on the Sideshow one just have a better overall design. The sculpt is more intricate, where the Sideshow, where the XM one is kind of just, I don't know, it's kind of stiff if you look at the difference between the two. So although XM had the concept down, Sideshow got that design on lock. Now let's look at the sculpt. So we're looking at the sculpt, and you have a couple different things we could look at. We could look at the bases. We're going to look at the actual proportions of Spider-Man. They both have a lot going on, right? The Sideshow Spider-Man has these Dr. Octopus tentacles all wrapped around each other, weaving through each other, busting through Oscorp television screens and other parts of the building. It does have 2 hands on it that actually light up. You've got the camera hidden as an Easter egg in the base. And then with the sculpt on the XM, you have this big kind of tower pylon type of thing. You have wires coming out. It has elements from other Spider-Man villains like the Sandman in the base, the Green Goblin pumpkin bombs on top, along with Dr. Octopus busting through the bottom of the base here. So we're going to kind of break this down a little bit. As far as the base is concerned, I think Sideshow's got the better sculpt. Then if we look at Spider-Man, again, XM is swinging around. Sideshow, he's raising himself up out of the mess of tentacles. I think we're going to have to look at overall pose here. Both of them are pretty dynamic. The pose of this Spider-Man, he's outstretched. You see his musculature. He's got his arm outstretched, about to shoot his web. He's pulling this arm with his other... He's pulling this tentacle with his other arm. And this Spider-Man here, he has a swinging motion, but I think it looks a little unnatural. Sure, I can see the musculature through the clothes as well, but I think the position of the legs looks a little awkward. Even his arm in the back is just kind of free-flowing, not really doing anything. So with the sculpt of Spider-Man himself, I'm going to give it to Sideshow. I'm also going to drop in these different switch-out options for these pieces in this category. Sideshow has 2 switch-out portraits. He has the regular Steve Ditko head that comes out and it can be replaced with the Todd McFarlane head. And then you have XM Studios, who opted to actually have 3 different torsos so that you don't have an ugly neck seam. Has a modern kind of McFarlane portrait, it has a classic 60s style, and it has a battle damaged mask. So for the switch out portion, I'm going to give it to XM, but still, overall sculpt, I'm going to give it to Sideshow. So right now, we're 2 for 2. We have Sideshow is the winner of the overall design and sculpt. XM Studios is the winner of the concept and the price and edition size. The last category is going to be the paint. And I think this is where we really got to give it up to Sideshow. I think that their prototypes look incredible, and the factories that are producing these pieces do a good job of trying to get as close to those prototypes as possible. And this Spider-Man, he looks more realistic. His clothes are not extremely bright and vibrant, but looking on camera, it really pops on camera when you get the right light on it. It has shadowing throughout his costume here. Looking at the base, I think the Doc Ock tentacles have a natural weathered look. It looks much more realistic as when I go over here to the XM. I think that the Doc Ock tentacles look kind of like hollow, kind of like they're made out of aluminum or something here. Spidey, I mean, there is some shadowing there, but I think the sculpt is really bringing out most of it. And the colors are kind of just like your basic primary colors in the costume. It doesn't feel like it has as much depth as the Sideshow paint job. So, comparing Spider-Man and the base when it comes to paint, I think Sideshow has XM Studios beat on the paint on this piece. So, out of those 5 categories, Sideshow is our winner here. They won 3 out of 5 categories. And then if I just gave my overall opinion of them, I think I prefer the Sideshow one for the execution of it. For like I said, the footprint of the base, it's compact. It's a nice, neat statue that still has a lot of mass to it. Whereas I feel like the XM Spider-Man, he looks great. It's a cool idea, but it still looks kind of clunky. How he's off to the side here. This kind of feels like not as solid as I would like. And if I had a choice over the 2, in this case, I would go over to the Sideshow piece. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Do you agree with my verdict in each one of the categories? What's your favorite overall piece? If you guys want to win this XM Studios statue, it was donated by GemMint.store, and you could win it by clicking on this 50K subscriber video that I'm going to put up right here. Make sure that you give a like on this before you leave, and make sure you're subscribed to the channel for more daily content. Let me know what other comparison videos you guys want to see. Stay minty fresh. Peace.